Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, it's hard to see the headlines in the news about COVID, the Delta variant, and it taking turns with different states with these peaks. And Alabama right now is in really rough shape. Louisiana has had it tough as well. And we do hear about Texas and Florida, but there are other states as well that are really struggling. Alabama, apparently their ICUs are full and it's not going to peak. They think they'll have double the patients mid-September. I was listening to Rachel Maddow. Apparently they'll have double. And the governor has applied for FEMA aid to help. I just want to see, will they be able to weather that? Will they be able to create field hospitals and things like that? How's Alabama going to do with that? Okay. Too many unvaccinated people again. Tower, it is definitely a tower. Okay, there's a number of different things they'll need to do. I feel like they're still in idea stages, you know what I mean? Like they're not, the truth isn't fully known yet. The truth isn't fully understood yet. I feel like there's a problem in their state legislature too, and I don't know what that is, but there's a problem, the resistance to the truth that will delay their utilization of funds. Oh no. So what I'm getting here is there will be some help. There will be some things that are done network-wise, complicated network-wise, like yes, more beds may be added here, more beds may be added there, but I don't feel like there's going to be a really terrific, adequate push to increasing field hospital beds and staff personnel, medical personnel in time. I don't feel like that because of the resistance to the truth. It's like sources saying, here's the truth, I've been showing you the truth, nobody's picking it up. Although the governor, thankfully, has now requested FEMA funds. So it does look like it's going to be pretty tough in September in Alabama. Yeah, embattled. Well, it's going to be all the way through till then. It's not just going to suddenly show up mid-September. It's going to be, yeah, each week a little worse, that kind of thing. And then they're trying to get the resources. And so, of course, they'll get through, but right, with casualties, you know, with deaths that could have been prevented. So, see, this is so heavy, isn't it? You know, I was walking this morning, and I do a lot of walking and talking to Source, talking to Spirit, and, you know, I feel like Source always says to me, what good do you do them carrying this heaviness around with you? I feel like Source always says, that just weakens you, it drains off your energy, it doesn't do them a darn bit of good. But if you can focus your healing energies, pray, do what you can do, and then truly leave them in the blessings of a loving source. Leave them with the blessings and the protection and the energy of a loving source, and truly leave it. Truly entrust, leave it. After, you know, sure, do what you can do. I do these videos, I talk, I try to spread the word. Do what you can do. But, you know, work on your friends to vaccinate, you know. Get the word out about vaccination. But then you got to leave it. You got to leave it because it's just going to weaken you. And for people with empathy and compassion and intuition, that you feel it, you feel human suffering when it's happening on a large scale, you really do feel it. It's more challenging, I think. But we can, therefore, then we can always ask for help to leave it and to do what we can do in our sphere of influence, right? Because there's always plenty to do right in our backyard, so to speak. There's always plenty to do. Plenty. So that's what we can do. Okay. And, you know, we can contact our lawmakers about people from other areas, other countries that we'd love to help and can't. We can donate. We can do all those things too. But I just feel like Source saying, please don't carry it. Please don't carry it. Send your love. Turn your compassion into love and send it. But don't carry the sadness. All right. So with that, I did want to ask too about the Delta variant in school, because a lot of states haven't gone back to school. Some states have, and some of those who went back to school in mid-August are already calling off classes with quarantine or just quarantining a whole bunch of students. So what does that look like? Source, what does that look like? School and COVID. 10 of Wands. It's very burdensome. It's, again, very difficult, you guys. So it's, again, very difficult. Even if your kids are vaccinated. I mean, there may be quarantines. They may be quarantined. And there are breakthrough infections possible. And we have the 9 of Coins. Okay, well, there again. Different stories, different parts of the country. So some areas that are sort of sitting pretty with their vaccination levels for like high school, and even that will help the grade schoolers too. If almost all the adults are vaccinated in that area, they'll do okay. They'll do all right. I'm not saying they won't have any disruption, but they'll do all right. Ace of Cups, it's very emotional again. So again, very large challenges, mental health challenges for our kids and our school personnel. So how often are they going to do distance learning? And again, I ask this question as if the US is all one reality, but it is different by region. 10 of Coins. 3 of Coins. Well, they're consulting about it. 3 of Wands. It's a possibility already. So what I'm seeing is already schools are making a plan for when do we trigger that? When do we trigger the distance learning? When do we trigger the hybrid model? Half the school in on Mondays and Wednesdays, the other half on Tuesdays and Thursdays. When do we do this? It's already, and they've done this last year. So they're already thinking about that. However, this 10 of Coins feels to me like this school year won't be as bad. There's a little more stability in this school year than there was in the last. Okay. And again, though, that will depend upon region of the country. It really will. Okay. Oh, this I wanted to ask. About, well, I never did ask about lockdowns, and a viewer pointed that out in my last video. I forgot to ask about lockdowns. Like states saying you can only leave your house for necessities, no gatherings over this many people, so on and so forth. Does it look like, the kinds of lockdowns we had in the beginning, does it look like that's possible again in the US? Well, it's certainly a possibility, but they really want to delay that. They really don't want to do that. I don't think those kind of strict lockdowns will probably be happening with the 2 of Coins. Very rarely. If it does, it's like super rare, only in the worst hit areas, but I just don't think they're going to do it. Not the strict lockdowns. Partial. Oh, one just flew out. The 8 of Cups. Yeah, that was always my card for people kind of isolating off on their own. Yeah, so maybe partial lockdowns in places, yes. Yeah, but there is the sense in the US that, okay, we already went through that, and, people are maybe less willing to go into that again. So I think politicians have to be a lot more cautious, unfortunately, and that's too bad. And we do have so many Americans who resisted and created a lot of trouble over mask wearing, for goodness sakes. So, so working with that, I think sometimes they dare not push it too far. But lots of advice, and there will again be people really isolating themselves just to make sure. Another question I had. I just get a feeling that the next variant of concern is going to come out of the US. I get this feeling. Let's see. And it too, then the vaccinations, the boosters will have to be modified. We don't need them to be modified absolutely yet for them to be an effective booster, but they will need to be. Yeah, oh yeah. Death card, the Hermit, 10 of coins. That will frighten some people to where they do really isolate. Okay, let's see, what else? Or maybe the Hermit too is saying, you know, that's the messenger card a lot of times. The message that I've got about that was correct. Tower. Yeah, three of coins. Scientist consulting. Yeah, I believe there'll be a new variant coming out of the US. That's a problem, but it's a ways off. It's a ways off. Not to say that what we're doing can't fight it. I really believe that the vaccines and the boosters, and there will be more modified boosters, I really do believe those will help us to fight it, you know, but yeah, it's then again, it just sort of lengthens our process, right? Unwelcome slowness, getting out of this into calmer waters. 7 of coins. And also, so money is an issue. Less government funds devoted to keep on fighting this. But I feel like that's more like going to affect the unvaccinated. Because see, the vaccinated and those who are really watching this closely and listening to recommendations, they're fighting it on their own. They're fighting it effectively for them and their family. They're fighting it. And that will continue. That will continue. But for the unvaccinated, we're still going to have more trouble. And it looks like the funding, after this Delta wave goes through, it looks like the funding is like dried up. It's not, there's a lot more hesitancy to devote money to that. So yeah, people do need to get vaccinated. Well, plus it'll be an issue that affects fewer people. After so many have been vaccinated and many have had the COVID after the Delta variant goes through, it's always tough when something affects a small minority of Americans for their needs to get met. It is, it just is. So, well, thank God. I feel like the viewers that I have are always taking this thing seriously and doing what they're supposed to do. I have to tell you guys, for my own family, because we've been vaccinated, I really do feel, I don't worry about it. I've just decided I am not worrying about it. I do wear masks because they're saying, the CDC is again recommending masks because you want to prevent a breakthrough infection. Why not? It's easy. We wear masks. But I'm not sweating it because I really do feel like the vaccinations will be effective enough. And even if a new variant comes up, when a new variant comes up, it will still be effective enough, you know, and the modified one will also be helpful. And you know what I mean? If you're staying informed about this and you're doing what's recommended, I really feel like it's okay not to fret, you know. Why fret? But yeah, I do keep on praying for those who refuse to be vaccinated or suffering under some illusions, misinformation campaigns. I do feel bad for them and pray for them. Yeah. Yeah. Although, you know, I mean, there's a lot of personal choice in that too, right? You know, some of this is the consequences of their own choices. However, I always wish that people be saved from the consequences of their own choices if they can have the light bulb. You know what I mean? Like if they can have the awareness and the understanding and the lesson learned without the consequences, I always pray for that for them. You know, that would be better. Well, with that, I just encourage you all to stay safe out there. But yeah, you know, be very happy if you are protected and you are following the recommendations, and you know, be glad for yourself. Be glad for your friends and family who are. That is something to celebrate. Well, take care, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.